Hello, welcome to the Elone Show. I'm your host, John Malone. In this episode, no regulars, because reasons, as always, sadly. As for our guest, she's from Los Angeles, California. She is a TEDx speaker, author, and a substitute teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rosalyn Khan.
It's Rosalyn. How you doing this morning, my friend?
Great. So, how's life?
Oh, life is going pretty well. Just another sunny day in Southern California. It's always good to have great weather here, so that is good.
Okay, nice. Is there anything you're currently working on at the moment or up to recently?
Oh, there's always things I'm up to. There's a big fashion show. It's called the Diamond Fashion Show with Marvin Bandana that I'm going to be one of the models in the opening scene. He makes beautiful fashions for the Oscars and so forth. And there's pictures on my Facebook, my LinkedIn, and things like that. I am also working on, going to be working with a lady by the name of, again, there's always so many people I'm working with. I'm sorry to say. Raven Blair, she's going to have me on a series with iHeartRadio, which is going to be coming up in 8 week series. She's working on getting another host for that. That is going to be coming down the pipeline really soon. That is really cool. I came out with my third book. It's called A Message for Tomorrow's Leaders, which is a really exciting book. I'm on a platform which is called The Great Discovery, which is helping people who are speakers, authors, and writers to get their word out to the world. And so those are some exciting things coming down here. And I've just begun working on some art projects because I'm an impressionist artist. And those are some exciting things that are happening. Never a dull moment.
Fantastic. So, what has inspired you to take the path that you're on right now?
Well, um, there's just lots of things that inspired me to get to where I'm at. I love the world of teaching and educating, so I've been in that world for about 20 years. I had teachers that inspired me in the field of education, and I always wanted to go ahead and give back. I taught public speaking. I had a number of my students who went on to win awards and prizes and recognition for that. And then I decided after 20 years, the young kids is basically where it's at because they offer the hope and vision of tomorrow. And as a colleague said, when we look at people who are buying and making things, those are those young people out there. Those are the ones who have the income that are going to the movies and starting the businesses and the restaurants and everything and things like that. So I just saw a kid who was in first grade yesterday, and they were teaching him how to write a poem. And this was just the first line of the poem. Roses are red like a strawberry. And then it went on from there. And I could just see in that the strawberry to a rose and everything else. And they're the best color they are, and different words that he had, the clamor and glamour and so on and so forth. I said, if this is first kid, imagine where this kid is going. The possibilities are open.
Yeah, indeed.
So that is the bit on teaching. I always like, making the world a better place, helping people out wherever I go. So there's always opportunities that are coming and going and good things like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
Wow, 20 years from now, I'll be a long distance senior citizen. I'll have my books out there, and I will still be talking and mentoring the young people out there. I'll still be helping them get to the world where it's at because I think youth is definitely the future. They can help seniors, and seniors can help them with their experiences that they have. And I'll be physically active because I love swimming and exercising and things like that. And animals will be part of my path as well.
Nice.
Yep, yep, yep.
Are there any jobs or opportunities that you haven't done yet, but you really want to try it out someday?
Well, I was a broadcaster on television, and that was really exciting. I loved the path of interviewing, and that was really amazing. It was for a short period of time, but to be able to get back on that, I love being on stages and platforms and interviewing people on a platform. um, is really good. But as we see, the world of media is changing so much that podcasts are really where it's at. So it's probably going to have to transform into a new light in a new way to make that vision and make that happen, because network television is having some challenges as we speak, having some challenges. And the world is constantly changing and evolving. And what we used to see, the average person has one job. I've had five to seven different jobs. And I say to students in my class, the job that you may have is not even defined on the dictionary at this time. It might be something that you're out there creating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about living off the grid?
Mm, when you're talking about living off the grid, I mean, it means no electricity, no running water, and things like that. Is that what you mean by living off the grid? Explain what you mean by that.
Well, so it's certainly not the definition you thought of. I'm talking about somewhere isolated but still have somewhat of an access to essential needs like water and food, etc. Just somewhere in nature, you separate, isolated from urban society.
Well, there are parts of that that are really, really appealing. I love nature, I love the outdoors and things like that. But there's always that human connection of being able to share it with others and have other people a part of it. So it's kind of a convoluted answer, if you get what I mean. I know that when life gets stressful, I go out to nature and enjoy the outdoors and things like that. Um, but there's also the human need and the human connection of sharing that experience and including others in what you're doing.
Yes, I absolutely agree. If you could live anywhere else in the world, where would it be?
Wow, that is a good question. Once again, we get two answers. I like places by water, but then there's also things that water bring that sometimes are hazardous. And then there's the nature. And so I think it would be somewhere that would kind of have the best of both of those worlds, best of both of those worlds that come together. Um,
Yeah, fair enough. If you could travel back in time, what decade would you want to live in?
mm, I think it would kind of be interesting. This is wild and crazy, but back in the space age, where people were really, really beginning to explore, and it was a whole new world, and they were just seeing what was possible back at that time.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you rather speak all languages or talk to animals?
You ask such difficult questions. Can I have both? I like talking to animals. I like looking at animals. My heart goes out when I see animals that are hurt and injured. But speaking languages that open up opportunities to intermingle with people around the world is also a, a good thing.
Yeah. Although I have some guests in the past, they say that some form of communication with specific animals classes other languages somehow. So that's something.
Yeah, I mean, I often look at my dog because I'm a big dog person, um, and see that he's a dog that really communicates well. You know, when he's upset or sad, or he knows and he feels when something is wrong with you. But I can kind of see that as cats and other animals and things like that you can have that communication with.
Absolutely. What's the weather like where you are?
Oh, it's very good weather today. It's about 76 is going to be the high, and the low is going to be about 53. And so I have long pants on and a shirt, and it's kind of warm, but it's quite different when you look at 53 degrees to 73 degrees. Quite a variance. So you do have the layered look.
Yeah,
And
it's
and yourself
absolutely.
and yourself where you're at, what's the weather like over there?
Well, right now it's cloudy. It's also a bit chilly, so also windy too. But I mean, yeah, I'm not complaining to be honest. I do know that as days go by, it's going to get warmer and warmer, so may as well enjoy it while it still lasts.
No, definitely. Definitely. Love to get out and enjoy that weather. Definitely for sure.
Indeed. What is your favorite holiday tradition?
My favorite holiday tradition. I love Thanksgiving because I love all the different foods that we have and the getting together of family and friends and trying new foods and differences, dishes. And people of all sorts of different places come together and are joined with good food, and people go out and help one another to enjoy the food and the plenary that those who have less of it. It's just a feel good holiday, and that's one of the holiday traditions I really enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. It feels good. Who was the last person you've talked to?
The last person I talked to just before I got off the phone with you was a gentleman by the name of Steve Zell, and he works with people to help them fund movies. So if there's anyone out there who has a film who's looking for funding, he can help them with that. And it's really an easy process. They can reach out to me and I'll tell them what it is. But it's important to know that if they have a film, they need to have produced one before. They need to make sure that when they sell this film, that it's going to gross 3 times the amount that it's done before. And the people get 4% off the top of whatever it is. They could get from 1 million to 3.5 million, and they also need to have the following things here. Um, it is 4% piece of merchandising, and they get the executive producer. And that was the last person I was on the phone talking to.
Oh, impressive.
Yeah, I'm quite the connector. So people are always, sharing their different ideas with me, and that's amazing. Um, so that was the last person I talked to.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Hmm. Yep, yep.
Very good. What is the best way to start the morning?
To me, the really best way to start the morning is to get up and to give gratitude on what's going on and what's happening. The second thing is to make sure that you take care of your personal needs and exercise. I love to get out and exercise in the morning, so I've already been through my morning swim, and making a list of the things that are important and checking them off and getting them done one by one.
Fantastic. Brilliant. If you were hosting a dinner party and you could invite 5 guests who are either dead or alive, who would you invite?
5 guests. Wow, dead or alive. Um, I'd like to invite Mother Teresa, but she'd be able to unify all the people and see other sides. I'd like to invite Golda Meir because she was the one who brokered peace. I'd like to invite Princess Di because her life was taken too short and she brought so much happiness to the world. And that's three. I don't know why, but the gymnast Nadia Comaneci, who won the first gold medal in gymnastics, for which she showed the world of what Russia could do. And the gentleman who started the Sierra Club, his name escapes me right now. The guy who started the Sierra Club, because that's something. Just a second. Hold on. I'm on a podcast right now. Can I give you a call back?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye. Okay, that was the person who was supposed to be on the call for the film funding. So anyhow, yes. Yeah, Steve, the guy who started the Sierra Club, his name escapes me right now. Those would be my 5 dinner desks.
Okay, that's a pretty good lineup.
Yeah, I bet you never heard those 5 before.
Honestly, no, I would never expected. Well, at least one of I would never heard of before, but the rest maybe at some point. But yeah, that's a very unique lineup. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it shows different parts of my personality and what I aspire to, and things like that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. What's your favorite kind of dessert?
Oh, wow, that's an easy one. I love creme brulee.
Mm, okay, that's kind of delicious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
The girl who overcame impossibilities and made them into realities and never gave up.
Fantastic. Which pizza topping do you most relate to?
Relate to or like?
Well,
I
mostly relate, because something to jazz up.
well, I love mushrooms, and it's going to be funny because I have a curly hair on the top, and that's the round part, but I'm really skinny. So there you have it. That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. I'm speechless.
You know, it's yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
fair enough, fair enough. If you could host a talk show, who would you have on?
If I could host a talk show, I would bring back Steve Jobs, bring him back to life, and say, now that we've got the Apple phone out there and all the things that you've invented, I know there are other things that you'd like to create in the world, and I want to know what's on the horizon. And what did you learn about relationships? Because I know that he was a great inventor, but he had some troubling relationships, and what he would go ahead and do different the next time.
Yes, he was quite a man. Changed the world forever. Most of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met any? Have you met anyone famous, like at any level of fame?
Um, well, I think it was interesting that I met an ambassador um, from Egypt who had received a Nobel Prize or something like that. He had received some distinction, that was pretty interesting. I also met a presidential candidate who was running for president as an independent candidate. His name is Robbie Wells. I met a kid whose name is Tyler Gordon, who painted the picture of Kamala Harris, and it was on the front of Time magazine. And I met a young kid whose name is Kyra Persevery out of Hawaii, who's an amazing young, talented young lady that whenever she sings, people all over the world are watching her. And so those are a few. Those are a few. And that was in the television show that I had. It's called Living Your Best Life.
Wow.
Me?
Fantastic. I remember a couple months ago, I've interviewed on another podcast uh, someone who is running as a Democrat candidate for the upcoming presidential election. So yeah, it's pretty nice hearing presidential candidates at this time of year or whenever this comes out.
Mhm.
It's very intriguing.
Yeah. Which candidate was that?
Uh, I think his name was Steve Wizard, or at least
Mm.
one of the two, at least.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
What's the most useful thing you own?
Hmm. I'm having an argument in my mind. One is a pen and one is a paintbrush, and they're both for creating because
All right then.
I'm a highly creative person. I don't want to say my phone because that's just too tacky.
Okay, fair enough. What has caused you to feel nostalgic recently?
Mm. Well, um, I've recently been doing some modeling for this fashion show, and as a young kid, kind of being an outsider, I never thought that that was kind of possible. And having these people say, "Wow, you did it! It's amazing." I remember when you first started and where you are now. That's kind of exciting, showing the evolution of life.
Absolutely. What music do you often listen to?
Well, um, I took a trip to Ireland with this group I traveled with called Up With People, and I find it very relaxing to listen to Celtic music for meditation. I find that very relaxing, and so I want to unwind or before I start the day, get into a zone. That's the music that I will go and listen to on my computer.
Okay, cool, cool. If you had a theme song for every time you enter the room, what song would that be?
This girl's on fire.
Ah, nice. Brilliant choice.
Yep, yep.
If you could get an exotic pet, what kind of companion would you like to have?
Mm, something about a chimpanzee sounds kind of fun.
Okay, nice. If you were transported 400 years into the past with no belongings, how would you prove to people that you were from the future?
I'm a great storyteller, and I would tell them stories in vivid images that they would know by the stories that I told.
Nice. That's probably a strategy I would have gone with.
I'm sorry?
That's a strategy I would have gone with.
Hmm.
What's the most interesting thing you've seen online this week?
The most interesting thing I've seen online this week. Um, well, one said that they were taking TikTok off, and that TikTok was going away, but it's still out there. And the other was 11 exercises you should do before you go to bed for a good night's sleep.
Okay, that's nice. I have heard a lot about the TikTok ban in US. I've
Mhm.
heard that their parent company ByteDance have until January next year to sell it off, otherwise US users can no longer use TikTok. from what I've heard.
Well, I heard that there was someone who bought it, who purchased it from them. And so what happened to that? Did the deal go sour?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I've looked at the impact that TikTok has, given that 10% of TikTok users are from the US and the revenues generated also is 10%. I've heard a source that ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, say they would rather let TikTok be banned in the US than have it sell off because it's a valuable asset to them. Why would the parent company sell off something so valuable to them that generates roughly 90% of their profits, roughly, than to receive 15% of the profit just having sold off to another foreign company?
Yeah,
That,
that just doesn't sound right, especially if you know anything about numbers,
I never.
finances.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, isn't it Chinese people who own it?
I assume so. However, I do think there are other people that kind of own TikTok, like foreigners and parents, the parent company. I'm not
Mhm.
sure exactly, but I'm certain that Chinese people aren't the only people that practically own TikTok.
Right.
So hey,
Okay.
I understand a lot of people love TikTok, and it
Hmm.
would be a shame for the app to go. But hey, it is what it is, and we just live life and enjoy what we have around us.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And that is all we have for this episode. It's great having you on, Rosalyn, talking about your works as a TEDx speaker, an author, possibly a substitute teacher, and of course your connections with the guy that provides funding for movies. That has been brilliant.
Yeah, it's really great. So if somebody is interested, have them reach out to me, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and all sorts of other places. It's all by the name of Rosalyn Kahn, and I'm also with the Great Discovery if people want to continue their lifelong learning. It's a great platform that people can upload things for an eternity. So it is good stuff. It's been wonderful, and I thank you so much for having me as a guest on your show.
You're welcome. And until next time, stay tuned for more.